Good so far for my thesis on background characters, but it could use some work in the field.
Collaboration!
Mind telling me why I'm here?
Well, with the 100th episode, I considered doing a review, but the only thing I want to talk about is why the background characters involved are so popular.
You know, you could have just asked to collab. You didn't have to kidnap me.
Oh, you sweet, naive little kitten. You have much to learn about the concept of a crossover video.
Ah, well, not a problem. I was already writing a thesis pertaining to background characters, and it would be rather beneficial for me to develop it with another individual, for accuracy and all that jazz. Whilst I understand that there is much value in asking as to why the background characters have become so widely recognized within the fandom, perhaps another concept worth inquiring would be how the idea of these characters began to garner attention, for the fact that, at their core, when first conceived, the characters in question were not much more than concepts of an interesting idea within the universe of Friendship is Magic. This fandom, by nature, is one largely attention to detail, able to perceive small elements of the background or even some of the characters within the series, magnify and personify those details to the character, and give birth to a basic concept adopted by the entirety of the Brony community.
The Bronies are by no means the first to make a big deal of background characters. May I introduce you to IG-88, Figwit, and Sergeant Johnson. So it's not really a question of why background characters got so popular, it's why these particular background characters got so popular.
One of the fandom's most popular interpretations of Lyra Heartstrings was one solely based on a specific screenshot within the episode of Dragonshot, upon which the character is depicted in the background sitting upon a bench, though in a manner in which a bipedal animal would do such, assumedly a human.
Lyra was actually used quite frequently for background gags, and according to a layout artist from the show, her consistent appearances with Bonbon were purely coincidental. As such, Bonbon has become popular solely because she's assumed to be Lyra's best friend and totally not her lesbian lover.
As a result of this singular detail of positioning concerning one character surged the idea largely accepted by the fandom that Lyra carries an obsession, or at least a large interest in the idea of humans in Equestria. Whilst both Lyra's transitioning into a popular background character and her character itself is one considerably unique, the nature of her conception is similar, if not identical, to many of the background characters that garner the most attention. The fandom took notice of a small detail in a character's positioning and assumed of its significance within the lore, thus contriving an entire character concept based upon one source, that being an image. Apart from her appearance with Bonbon at a constant, Lyra's obsession with humans is her defining, distinguishing characteristic for the fact that the fandom just latched onto it. And though it has been expanded upon through various fanworks of all types, her interest in humans has become a crucial component of the character's fandom identity as it has for many others. Such a process of character conception has been applied even to characters with an established existence within Friendship is Magic. Unlike the likes of many popular background characters, Trixie is one to have been established as an antagonist within the episode Ghostbusters, an infamous episode to which we all know.
She also makes a return in Magic Tool, as well as the comics and one of the chapter books. Though, I dare say that the Crystal Heart spell did not do her, nor any other character, any favors.
She demonstrates a rather large ego as she refers to herself in third person. Yet upon the instance in which the Ursa Minor attacked the town, upon her panic, she suddenly began to speak in the first person, perhaps attributing to her panic all the more. Almost immediately preceding the attack, she regained her composure and escaped the town.
The same is the case in Magic Tool. She maintains a boastful attitude until Twilight tricks her into believing she has a powerful amulet from the land of the zebras. We can also see it in the comics, but to a lesser extent as she's been humbled by the events of the show.
Whilst nothing entirely stood out about the character itself upon her appearance, the fandom largely latched onto those few lines of dialogue, and made the assumption that her change from third to first person speech is exact the theory of an inferiority complex she carries, and that she would shroud her insecurities behind a boastful show or persona in an effort to gain confidence.
A persona that's just for show also relates a lot to what this fandom actually does. I'm not really like this, and I'm not really British pip cheerio load of bollocks. It's a character I play. A character much like myself, but a character nonetheless. He's an exaggeration of my personality. Oh dear. I believe I've discovered how to break the fifth wall. Proceed while I take a look at the breach.
Anyway, such character development would be an expression of a character definition upon an existing concept rather than one barely fleshed out due to its nature of being within the background. Similar to the likes of Lyra, Trixie's fandom character was defined by one detail concerning her within the show. Her change of tone acting similarly to Derpy's eyes or Lyra's posture, yet her change in tone only allowed her inferiority complex to be a component of her fandom persona. The nature of the most popular background characters, that being that their only purpose in the show proper is to make the town feel that much more alive with ponies, allows others to create personas for them, however and how strongly they choose to do so.
Speaking of Derpy, did you know that her crossed eyes were an animation error? It was kept in on the grounds that it amused supervising director Jason Tennyson. After discovering the positive reaction of fans towards the character, he requested her eyes to be crossed on.
Shouldn't you be sealing that hole in the fabric of reality?
Oh, I called for help. It'll be okay.
But shouldn't you at least put duct tape over it or something? All the bright colors coming out of it are hurting my eyes.
Oh, come on. What's the worst that could happen?
Exterminate! Exterminate!
Oh, I guess that.
Ah, well, nice working with you. How inconvenient I did not remember to write what I had set down. Seems it's back to the proverbial drawing board I go.